Another red hot.
Another one.
This is a guy, a friend of ours. He actually, we were going to get him a smaller cam to start with. This is daily. He wanted just a little thumpity thump and didn't really care about numbers. But after talking to him and him seeing all the videos and the red hot stuff that we've talked about, he decided to go that route. And he already had a converter he supplied. Feels to be around a 3200. Has a VCM intake. Did you notice what brand headers these are, Dusty? Are they? I think they're pace setters. I think they were.
Maybe pace setters, I believe that's right, because they're not coated or anything.
Pace setters, has a solo mid muffler. We put bigger injectors in it, fast 85s, and we put a ported and rotted intake on it. He had a sheet metal intake on it, which we will show that here in a second. That's something to note.
It was kind of we kind of have the recipe for these cars, right?
Yeah.
So we know, we've already been down the road. We know what works and what doesn't. There's certain applications where the high ram, single plane, sheet metal stuff works well, but it's a combination. It's a recipe, and it's typically not the best for anything that's a streetable or something.
This car came in with another car that we just happen to have in the shop. Now we're doing a cam in. Same exact modifications. And it made 30 less horsepower and 30 less foot-pounds everywhere.
And the only difference was the intake and a big throttle body too.
Yep. It had a snake eater throttle body. So, Dusty has already gotten our graphs up. That's really nice of him. The 322 torque is what it came in at. The one thing I'll say is it moved your RPM range max horsepower up to 5,800. Normally that's a little bit less, but it didn't matter because it was still less than the stock intake car at the same RPM and everything. Actually, we have one of those.
I think we have one we can...
And the thing to note on this car is we even had one that had the same air fuel ratio and everything. Yeah.
So it was 40 horsepower. Basically, this is a stock bolt-on car. This orange line, other than the intake.
Same mods.
And we might have, let me go back to, let me take 4 off there, because I think we had moved the air fuel just a bit. I think this is, this is the apples air fuel run. Either way, 359 versus 322. So it was down 37 horsepower.
Dude, check out that torque difference.
Look at the torque here and here with the orange line. 377
to 320
versus 320.
Ooh.
I mean,
that's 57 foot-pounds of torque.
It was down everywhere, and attributed specific. The other issue, the bolts that hold. If you look at a pair of LS3 heads or any of those heads and turn them over, where the intake bolt balls comes through the back side is exactly where the push rods live. A couple of the bolts had worn, they were touching the push rods and had worn a section in the push rod where the bolts were too long. So
and he had an high RPM misfire. That probably could be attributed to that.
Yeah, it's a lot of little details, man. So that's one of the reasons why when we say this, don't buy your own parts, don't bring your own parts. We'll work with you to get to your goals, but you're not going to pay more from to us for parts. So if you want a BTR setup or Texas Speed setup or whatever they sell it for on their site, that's what we sell it for. I make a little bit on it, and we can make sure we got exactly what we need and get you where you want to go, as seen here. So.
Yeah, the only positive, but it's really not even a positive, but the only thing that I will note that it did better, which some people like higher RPMs, you'll see it peaked at, like I was saying, 5,700, and stock motors peak at about 52 to 5,300. But at that point, the stock motor, even way up here, is still making more power. The intake just made that much less power down low. Yeah. So yeah, it was, and you see how the torque curve on the sheet metal intake died. It was down the whole way, where the stock intake's still gaining. But the good news is we were able to get them taken care of, and now this car made 431 horsepower and 408 torque on 93. And then, of course, we put in the old E85. This is about 67% ethanol. and it made 444, 421.
So that's about 3%.
Yeah,
We say 2 to 3.
yeah, always 2 to 3 is the
This
number.
one made 3. We had, good. It's getting into summertime, so the ethanol content's coming up a bit.
122 horsepower and 101 or 99 horsepower, 99 foot-pounds.
We'll just say 100.
Yeah, 100 foot-pounds. That's easier. Yeah, my math. 100 foot-pounds and 120 horsepower. Huge gains. Like this is literally going to feel like a race car compared to what it came in
Night
at.
and day. And all we changed was the camshaft.
And
We
put
did
it-
the DOD delete.
Yep. And put everything else back to stock.
Stock throttle body.
Yep, stock intake, stock throttle body.
We did a Mighty Mouse catch can too for him. He had another catch can that was letting a lot of oil through. Guys, these Mighty Mouse cans are pricier than some, but the technology inside of here, the way they do their baffling, is second to none. Like,
Yep.
It really works.
We're going to put one of these on our G8. We have the same issue. Ours is at idle, you can sort of smell smoke. These
Yeah,
do
I don't
something.
want to sound like a commercial, right?
But these at idle, what do they like
Yeah.
seal up?
There's a flapper inside this filter.
Okay.
So whenever the system is under vacuum, like at idle, it pulls that flapper over the opening at the top of the can. So you're retaining your stock PCV system. It is pulling vacuum in the motor and pulling fresh air in that's filtered. So you're getting the fresh air and the ventilation into your crankcase like you're supposed to. When you get on the gas and the vacuum goes away and you have positive pressure in the bottom end, it allows it to vent through here. So if you're sitting at a stoplight and you're smelling oil vapors because your catch can sucks, that's what you need. And we got them. So.
Yeah. That's a huge thing. That's the only thing that's one thing about my catch can is still like exactly what he said. Sitting in traffic the other day, drove it to Auto Fair. Sitting in traffic, you start smelling a little bit of the odor and you're like, but this just totally eliminates that altogether. So overall, he has a really good piece now. It's going to run great. The transmission feels really good. We'll do a test drive with him when he comes back, but he's going to be super happy. And we have more red hot data now. One, Dusty, we were talking about the other day, is we do have coming up is a Stroker Corvette we did earlier in the year or last year, coming back with the new BTR. Is that the Trinity, the one that has?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Trinity with the newer plenum that
Yeah.
exits or the inlets straight instead of angling down. So it's not going to crash into your radiator. You don't have to get creative with your elbows.
And his stock mass airflow he was able to use in a way in which he didn't have to have anything fabricated. So guys, that'll be one coming up. Hopefully we'll have that one here in a few days. And we're hoping to see some good gains. It was peaking about 6,000 RPM. So we're hoping to bring that up to around 67, 6,800 because he wants something that he can spin. So we'll see how that motor likes it. But I just wanted to throw that in there because, we always try to keep some things going. I know I haven't had as many videos going as we've been busy grinding at the shop, and I've had a couple of things going on as well. But we're still here doing it, and I appreciate it. If you need anything, of course, feel free to let us know.
See ya.